Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. Ubisoft has announced their third quarter revenue numbers, and it doesn't look good. Flat out, just doesn't look good. And we kind of already knew this was going to happen. When we've been talking about Ubisoft for I don't even know how long now, I think it's been pretty apparent that Ubisoft's revenue has continued to go down and down and down and down. And now we have a report for the third quarter that claims that Ubisoft's revenues have seen a decline again by 31.4% to 990 million. They're also experiencing a 51.8% drop in net bookings during its third quarter. This is an absolute bloodbath. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, when people ask me questions about Assassin's Creed Shadows and they say, do I think that Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to save Ubisoft? Do I think Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be successful? And I flat out tell them, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter whether or not Assassin's Creed Shadows is successful or not, because ultimately I truly believe that Ubisoft is cooked in one way or another. So let's get into this article, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. I truly believe that Ubisoft is cooked no matter what. It doesn't matter if Assassin's Creed Shadows is mega successful or not. I really believe that Assassin's Creed Shadows would have to be somewhere near Black Myth Wukong numbers for Ubisoft to do a complete pivot in the other direction. But if it doesn't pull those numbers, I just highly doubt that this game is going to save the company in the slightest. Ubisoft has released its financial results for the 9 months ending December 31st of 2024. Reporting significant declines in revenue and net bookings. The firm remains optimistic, however, with the upcoming release of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Pre-sales of the titles are reporting to be tracking solidly and on par with the franchise's second highest earner, which is Odyssey. Here's what you need to know. I do not believe this at all. I want to be very clear that I do not believe that Assassin's Creed Shadows is tracking to match Odyssey in a world where we have subscription services, in a world where people are obviously very angry at this game. Don't get it twisted. Assassin's Creed Shadows will do fairly well. It is still a super popular normie game. There's no doubt about it. In the same manner that Dragon Age the Veilguard could be considered doing well. But when you really look at the numbers and you really understand between actual budgeting and what the game is pulling in, it's not going to do that well. It's going to flat out not going to do nowhere near what some of the other Assassin's Creed Shadows games have done, in my opinion. No matter how much the game is going to try to carry itself on the Japanese aesthetic, which I'm sure some people are going to buy just because of that alone, I just don't think this game is going to do money like that, even though they're trying to lie and say that it did. And also keep in mind, too, they were saying the same thing about Concord. They were saying the same thing about Veilguard. They were saying the same thing about all these games. This is what they're supposed to say. Of course they're going to lie to you and tell you that the game is tracking solidly on pre-orders. Please keep investing in our company. Why would they ever tell you the truth about that? They're going to try to spin the numbers to make themselves look better in any way they can. But anyway, here's the numbers for you guys that are curious. So, for the 9 months ending on December 31st of 2024, the revenue was 990 million, which is down 31.4% year on year. So this company has lost 31% year over year on revenue. That is insanity. That is a huge hit to a massive corporation like Ubisoft. Their net bookings has now dropped to 944 million, which is down to 38.8%. Then it says digital net bookings are down to 784 million, which is down 33.8%. And then back catalog net bookings is down to 762 million, down 27.7%. This company is insanely cooked. I mean, I really don't know how people can look at these numbers and think that Ubisoft is in a positive place. I think at that point, they are truly lying to themselves, and they might be hardcore shilling, because there's no freaking way that you are losing 31% year over year, and you're constantly losing every single quarter update they give. They're constantly losing. It's an ugly situation out there for Ubisoft. Then for the 3 months ending on December 31st, the net bookings have been recorded at 301.8 million, and digital net bookings are recorded at 257.4 million. So then we apparently have some highlights regarding Ubisoft and the amount of cope that they're going to be experiencing. Despite a significant 51.8% decline year on year in net bookings for Q3, Ubisoft highlighted that this was in line with its revised expectation of 300 million for the period. Ubisoft remains optimistic about its next quarter and is expecting net bookings to increase following the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows on March 20th. keep in mind, guys, they said the same thing about Star Wars Outlaws. Like, I don't know how many times do we have to look at these companies and understand that they're going to lie as much as they possibly can. It's been proven that Ubisoft is not truthful with their numbers. It's been proven that they have lied to their investors over and over and over again. It's been proven that this company will give you whatever number looks the best in the public eye, and they'll run an entire narrative with it. That's all they're going to do. But the simple fact of the matter is they're losing insane amounts of money over and over and over again, and it's going to be very clear that this company is going to get bought out. And it doesn't matter. I keep saying it doesn't matter whether or not Shadows is successful or not. Ubisoft as a company is going to be cooked in some way, shape, or form. Whether they have to sell off some other IPs just so they could keep Shadows, right? That might be a thing. They might sell off other IPs so that they can keep Assassin's Creed and keep running with just Assassin's Creed, and they'll be known as the Assassin's Creed company. That's basically it, right? They could do that, or they could just flat out sell the company and try to maintain some level of control over it as the Guillemot brothers in some way, shape, or form. But I really don't know which way they're going to go. I just know that Ubisoft is screwed one way or another. It says pre-sales from the title, referencing Assassin's Creed Shadows, are tracking solidly, with CFO Frederick Dugret noting in an earnings call via PC Gamer that sales are in line with Odyssey. While the firm noted that it has a solid back catalog and expected material partnerships to come in Q4, the increase in revenues will hinge on the launch of Shadows. Early previews have been positive, praising its narrative and immersive experience, while both characters playing critical roles in the game's storyline, as well as the quality and complementarity of the gameplay provided by the dual protagonist approach, said Ubisoft co-founder and CEO Yves Guillemot. I want people to understand, man, this entire narrative of, oh yeah, the reviews are great, the early reviews are great, people are talking about how amazing it is, and by people, we mean the journalists that are paid off. Like, that's the ones they want you to believe. And I think people could see through this BS already. People understand that gaming journalists are not the ones to be trusted when it comes to an honest, objective video game review. They're just not, right? These people get free codes, they get free swag, they get wined and dined half the time. Why the hell would you believe anybody from the Access Media regarding anything that they're reviewing? Because it's very obvious at this point that they're just not going to be honest with you. And I think people know that. I think people are well aware at this point. I want to commend the incredible talent and dedication of the entire Assassin's Creed team, who, by the way, you want to talk about the talent of the entire team, but over half of the team has never worked on a video game before. One of your guys admitted that. So how much talent can you really be rocking with here? Who is working tirelessly to ensure that Shadows delivers on the promise of what is the franchise's most ambitious entry yet. Looking at the first 9 months of the fiscal year, Ubisoft recorded 36 million monthly active users across console and PC. As for playtime and session days per player, these rose by 4% and 7% respectively. Ubisoft noted that its online tactical shooter Rainbow Six Siege delivered a resilient performance during Q3, and experienced a growth in session days per player. And that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to see what happens with Ubisoft as time goes on. But looking at these numbers right now, it flat out just doesn't look good. And they could try to sell you this beautiful story about how they totally saw this coming and they knew this is what was going to happen and this is what they planned. They didn't plan this. No company plans for this. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.